তোমরা সবাই আমাকে শুনতে পারছো?
Yes, ma'am.
ওকে, ওকে। Others?
Yes, ma'am.
ওকে। সৌভিক? সৌভিক শুনতে পারছো? মধুমিতা?
Yes, ma'am.
ওকে। সৌম্য? Shoma, are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Arunnak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. সৌভিক, তুমি কি আছো?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
ওকে। সো বেসিক্যালি যেটা হচ্ছে যে আজকে যে ট্রেনিং সেশনটা তোমাদের করানো হবে, দ্যাট উইল বি রিগার্ডিং যে তোমরা কি ফেস করছো জবে ইস্যুস বা প্ল্যানিংয়ে কি প্রবলেম ফেস করছো সেটা নিয়ে। সো কেউ কি এরকম রয়েছো যার বেঙ্গলিতে কমিউনিকেট করতে প্রবলেম হয় বা কিছু?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have like fluently in Bengali.
Okay. So Surabhi, you are comfortable with Hindi or English, right?
Yes.
Okay. Rest of you, any issue with Hindi or English or maybe Bengali? Okay. Okay. Madhumita?
No.
Okay. So, like, since Surabhi is not able to understand like Bengali that much clearly, so is it okay if I communicate in Hindi or English?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. For the rest of you, is anyone having any difficulty in understanding English or Hindi? Shovik? Shovik, are you there? Okay. So, what do you guys suggest? कि मैं हिंदी में बात करूँ या should I be speaking in English? Like, so it's easier for you guys.
English is comfortable.
Okay. Anyone who's like they're uncomfortable with English? Madhumita?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Arunok?
No, ma'am, it's okay, ma'am. English is.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I would like to know from you people, like, is there anyone who faces like problems with understanding or planning an assignment, like how to execute the task? Shovik, I'm starting with you. Can you share your opinions or like whatever difficulties you have faced so far? Shovik?
Yeah, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. So be a bit more available in the play training session because this is for your good only.
So I have faced problem in writing the ethical considerations.
Okay. Apart from that, like for any other assignments, is there any difficulty that you have faced?
And the empirical reviews in researches.
Okay. So that is mostly about the research, but what about the assignments? Like any issues you have faced so far?
No, ma'am, not any serious issues so far.
Okay. So regarding planning or referencing, is there anything that you like face issues with?
Yeah, I was facing a problem, but the ma'am there she guided me very carefully so that I can learn.
Okay. Okay. So coming to Modhumita, can you tell me like what issues you have faced so far?
No, ma'am. So much possible to someone like in this situation.
Hmm.
document,
Hmm.
how to write, how to do proper writing.
Hmm.
So, then Teacher ma'am is helping me in every word and every step she's helping me.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. What about you, Somo?
Yes, there are several issues as I want to say that
Hmm.
first of all, ma'am, I used to take more time because for the research.
Hmm.
So after as you told about the planning and
Hmm.
that is very much important for us.
Hmm.
But still, I feel that after researching that how much I have tried and on what topic, but I don't know still,
Hmm.
if I can figure out that sometimes it happens.
Hmm.
And this kind of problems I have faced. And once again, as we told about the critical thinking and other
Hmm.
skills, I have
Hmm.
some problems regarding that. Except that, it's okay.
Okay. Aditya?
Yes, ma'am. The main problem I'm facing is that I'm having difficulty understanding the brief. Means if I'm dealing with the brief, so
Hmm.
I'm having problem in understanding the brief, and then start. I have to consult the manager before we starting. I
Hmm.
have a problem in understanding the brief about what things I have to write and then proceed in the writing. So
Okay.
rather than this, I don't have any problem. If I understand the brief, then I can proceed with the writing. But the main issue is that sometimes I'm unable to understand what is being asked and what
Hmm.
I have to write.
Okay. Surabhi?
Yes, ma'am. So basically, I was facing problem in and findings.
Okay. Results and findings.
And also my decision is basically not so critical. It is little bit generic. I'm facing problem in that.
Okay. Aronok?
Yes, ma'am. The main problem that I face right now is the time management. I mean, every day, uh, yeah. I mean, I can't complete my allocation within time. That is within 6:30 or 7 because I have my studies going on. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I have done my graduation that is completed, but I am
Facing issues,
side
right?
by side preparing for my MTech degree.
Hmm.
So I mean that creates a problem, and because and in some days whenever I submit the file by
Hmm.
7,
Hmm.
and sometimes some of a plagiarism issues comes,
Hmm.
and some rework comes, and so I have to work again till I think 9 o'clock,
Hmm.
10 o'clock at
Hmm.
night. So that is creating a problem in my preparations. That's the main thing I'm facing right now, nothing else as
Okay.
such technically.
Okay. Antara?
Ma'am, no such issues till now. I think I'm facing some problem in remembering the references like Howard,
Hmm.
APA. I keep forgetting the technicalities that is in like for which you have to write retrieved or for which you have to write like those I keep forgetting.
Okay. So, like, since I have listened to all of your views, so I will be starting from the basics that can help you plan the assignments. Okay. And for that, as you know, like, the main part and parcel of our like work is the job brief or the assignment brief. Okay. So basically, as like some of you were saying, like you have difficulties in understanding the brief or what is being asked. So my question to you is that, like, are you guys like well aware of the parts that you need to see in the brief to understand the task, or is it something you read and you don't understand and then you have to ask your managers? Like, is it like clear to you, like which parts you are to like C for execution of the task, if I might know? Aditya, I think you were mentioning.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I was telling that the brief is a large, is broader concept. So
Hmm.
the thing is that I can understand is what is being asked, but
Hmm.
how do I proceed and what technical consideration I have to take before starting?
Hmm.
That I have the problem. and I have to ask the manager and then start. So the thing is that means how do I get to know what is being asked in the brief and what do I have to write? This
Okay.
is the main problem I'm facing.
Okay. So, like, since all of you have worked for quite few times now, like maybe I am guessing like each one of you have worked for more than a week. So at least you know what a task brief or an assignment brief looks like, right? So in that, the first thing that you would require to look into is the country for which you are going to work on. Okay. Like say for example, if you are going to work for Australia, the task brief and how can you identify that? That can be done in either two ways. Like it will be either mentioned like okay, this is the task of this country, or you can check like which university or which college you are working for. Okay, if you just google that, you can understand which country the job belongs to. Okay, that is one thing. Why am I pointing out things like in this respect is that you have to understand, like you have to take facts, figures and information of that country only. Okay, now, coming to what I was discussing with you all, that is the task brief or the assignment brief. In that, like there are not many information. Some you need to understand to execute the work. Some are, you can say like they are important, but not that much important. Like without those also, you can do the work. But maybe like if you want to execute in a better way, then you would require to access or go through that part. Okay, the first thing that you need to go through in the assignment brief is the requirement section of it, right? Like what the brief is asking for you, like of you in this assignment or in the task that you are doing. So, first and foremost thing that you have to go through is the assignment requirement. Okay. The second thing that you have to go through mandatorily before starting the work is the learning outcomes, or if there is any objective that the assignment is trying to achieve. Why I am pointing out these two things? Because the assignment requirements, they give you an understanding or idea about what is being asked or what you need to do. And the main utility of learning outcome is basically the expectations. Like on which grounds you will be like assessed, or like your writing will be assessed to be more precise. Okay. So these two things you have to be very clear about. And the planning and execution of the task starts from these two elements itself. Okay. Now, if you are understanding the requirements, like all of you said, like you can understand the requirement, like what is being asked, but you have difficulty in planning, like how to execute it. So in that context, I would like to like remind you, like see, all of us we have like learned in school, like whenever we are to write any essay or any paragraph or any like report whatsoever, there are three main sections. There will be an introduction, there will be a body, and there will be the conclusion. This is the skeletal structure or concept that makes up the foundation of every assignment. There's nothing else. In the introduction, you are introducing your topic. In the main body, you are just meeting the task requirements as well as what is expected in the learning outcomes. And in the conclusion, you are just summarizing whatever you have written throughout the assignment. Okay. Now, coming to the point of like planning, how to plan things or how to plan that assignment or whatever we call like the structure. Okay. So the first step of structure will be to divide the whole content into three parts, which is introduction, body, and conclusion. Okay. Now, in the body part will be the main part of the assignment in which you might feel like some difficulty or face some issues to plan what you need to do. Okay. So before going to that part, like I would like to know from you people, like if you are understanding the requirements, are you able to identify the key concepts that you might need to touch in doing the assignment?
Ma'am, I have a question. The thing
Hmm.
is that in case of dissertation,
Hmm.
we know the we know the structure. That's introduction,
Hmm.
then comes literature review,
Hmm.
then empirical review, and
Hmm.
methodologies. In dissertation, we have the same structure throughout
Hmm.
all the process.
Yeah.
But in case of case study or in case of report writing,
Hmm.
so the structure maintenance is a bit of problem for me to means how to explain the plan and how to write. In case of dissertation, I don't have any problem because I've been doing for quite some time and
Hmm.
I know the things that have to write and how to
Hmm.
make the structure. But in
Hmm.
case of case study or in report, I have a problem in making the structure
Okay.
very clear.
Okay, so in that case also, as I have told you, like, can you relate with the structure? Like, there is one introduction, there is one main analysis or body section of it, and there is one conclusion. That is common for any assignment, be it any case study, be it any report, or be it any assignment. Like, are you able to relate that much with what I'm trying to explain to you?
Yes,
Okay. Now, when you are writing a report, okay, obviously, if you are asked to report on something, that means, like, obviously, most of the times it will be based on certain conditions or the problems that a company is facing. Am I right?
yes,
Okay. So there will be an issue that you are asked to report on. Okay. Report means what? Like, you have to evaluate what is going on and what is, like, it going to bring for the organization. Like, is it a bad consequence or is it a good consequence? Okay. So if you are having that, like, basic skeletal structure that I'm talking about, the introduction, body, and conclusion, in the body part of a report, that is nothing but you have to identify the problem, you have to evaluate that, and then you have to draw forth the conclusion. Is it the thing that you have come across while doing the structure or not?
yes, ma'am.
Right? So that solves most of the problem. Like, in the report, when you are reporting something, as I told you, you have to understand the essence of report, like what you are being asked to report on or what is being expected out of you. Usually in the, like, structure of a report or the case study, as I told you, it will be obviously exploring an issue that is being faced by the organization. So obviously in the body section of it, you have to do these basic simple things only. What is that? Like, you have to identify the issue and the gravity of it, like how much it is harmful or how much it is bad for the organization. Then you have to evaluate that in light of some theory or models. And after that, you have to give certain recommendation or conclusion. Okay. To put you, like, in a better way, like, if I explain you, the things are very easy. Like, there's a problem. You have to evaluate how strong or how big the problem is. And after that, you have to find the solutions to resolve the issue. That is the main essence of any case study or any report. Now, I would just like to know, like, is there any specific requirements in a report that you have come across that you face issues with, or this is more or less like what you have seen?
Ma'am, I have mostly done the dissertation part. Means
Hmm.
I have been working for more than a month, so I have done the dissertation part most of the time.
Hmm.
But I have done 2 to 3 times this part of report
Hmm.
and the case study.
Hmm.
So I have a problem. The problem is that in case of dissertation,
Hmm.
the structure is more or less the same in a,
Yeah.
in every education.
That is
But
okay.
in case
But,
of
like, what I'm trying to know from you, like, whenever you have done report or case study, if you can just, like, remember the requirements that you have been asked, is it easy to relate? Like, there was an issue that you had to evaluate, or was it something else that you had to do? Like, what was the type or instruction for the report or case study that you have done, and which seems like difficult to you?
um, currently I don't remember because I have done a lot of time ago. But the thing is that I faced such a lot of problem in that part. Means whenever I have been given with a case study,
Hmm.
I have faced a problem in structuring the report and then making subheads based on that report.
Yeah. So that is what I'm trying to decode for you. Like as I told you, if you are asked for a case study or report, in maximum of the cases, like maybe like around 95 to 98% of the times, you will see there's an issue that the company is facing, and like you are asked to evaluate it, and then you will be able or required to give the solution to it. There's nothing more like apart from these things. Okay, so in future when you are coming across any report or case study assignment, just try to keep this thing in mind. And whatever you are having in your mind, like the plan that you have to do in the assignment, that becomes the skeleton of your assignment, that is the structure. Like the reason why I told you this much on this is that, like, if you can first understand the first stage, that is the introduction, body and conclusion. When you are addressing the body part of the report, there will be three sections. One is what the company is facing, namely the problem. Second will be the evaluation of the issue, like how good or how bad that is and what needs to be done with that. And third thing will be the recommendation, or what is the way forward from here. Okay. So as I told you, this is the basic thing. Apart from that, for the ornamentation purposes, you can give a background to the company, like how long it has been in business. So like that, it's all about your creativity and how you want to meet the requirements. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So, like from others also, I would like to know, like, are you able to understand what I am trying to say? Like, the basics of how you are to address any assignment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shovik?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shomo?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, ma'am. No
Like,
problem.
did you understand what I tried to say? Like, because you also were saying, like, you have some problems in addressing the requirements. So, you just need to first look through the assignment requirements and the learning outcomes, and then just draw a rough structure in your mind as well as the doc that what you are asked to do. Okay. Okay. So, is there any issue that you have faced in forming the structure, like apart from this one?
No,
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, like you have seen more or less the same structure that is followed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I would like to know from Arunno, like, are you able to follow through what I am trying to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, these are the ways that you can plan your assignment. Yeah. Shomo, you are saying something? Okay. Antara, are you able to follow? Okay. So basically, planning or structuring the assignment is nothing but your like rough plan what you need to do. Okay. Even if you are taking the help of your managers and if you are assessing what you are doing on an everyday basis while writing the assignments, more or less you will see that everything is same. Like there's an introduction, body, and conclusion, and in the body part of it, you are mostly meeting the requirements and specifications of the assignment. Okay, so that's about the structure part. Now, is there anyone who faces difficulty in distributing the words for an assignment or keep track of your writing?
No, ma'am.
Others? Shovik? Shomo, you can tell me, is there any problem with the word management?
no. As I told, the time management is the main thing. Yeah, management, I have no problem with that.
Hmm.
My managers actually tell me about the whole thing,
Hmm.
and it's quite helpful, But still, as this few times. So,
Yeah, like with more, like when you will be doing it for more times, obviously it will be
mm,
much more clearer to you. And just remember the basics, okay? Because the basics is what makes every assignment, like what writing or whatever you are writing, You have to have that like basic format which you are required to address. Okay. So the next thing which I would like to discuss about is like the planning or writing part of the assignment, maybe which is the major part of the issue that each one of you is facing, because since you are not able to understand what you are to write, so for that reason only it takes lot of time thinking on what you are supposed to write, is it right or not, and like that takes away like most of the time of your day. So, is there anyone like who faces this issue? Like what you are supposed to write in the assignment or like under a particular heading?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes I face this issue.
Okay.
Yes, I'm same.
Okay. Aditya, do you face any issues in understanding what you are supposed to write?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Surabhi? Sur-
No, ma'am.
okay. Arunok?
But I mean, my case most of the time goes in the research part. I mean, just to find and understand the concept and then to write the whole thing, that takes a lot of time for me.
Okay.
That's the main problem.
Okay. So, like regarding these things, what you can do is that, like, be very specific on the headings part. Okay. Like, what you want to write. I think when you are making the structure, there is the content is broken up into different headings, right? Like where the parts and the word counts are mentioned, like what you are supposed to write and cover in different sections, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that is the main thing that you are required to do. Okay. So when you are having the heading in front of you, which you are required to write, just understand like whatever the heading is, that is the main thing that you are required to write. Like you cannot write anything which is not what you call like not aligned with the heading. It cannot be something that your heading is about leadership and you are writing about staff motivation. It cannot be like that. So once you have the heading in front of you, you can what you can do is that you can focus on that point only. Now, coming to the different aspects of writing or what you are supposed to cover in those headings. um, how many of you remember like in like your respective schools or like the assignments that you have done, there was a common pattern to write or common question which was asked, which was mostly about characteristics, advantages and disadvantages. Is there anyone like who can remember about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Others?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, those are the three main things that is expected. Okay. For every heading or every topic that you are required to cover, what happens is that you have to like understand the concept of it and you have to explain whether it is good or whether it is bad. Okay. Now, for that only you are doing the research as well as you are interpreting. Like as some of you were mentioning, like you are unable to understand like what kind of resources you might need to search for before writing the assignments. So there also you are the one who's writing. Just keep things in mind, like you cannot move out of topic or you cannot write something which is not in line with the topic or the heading. So you have to stick to the heading itself. That is the first cue to start. Now, in that also, like say for example, for dissertations or like any assignments, if you are given a point which is supposed to be written for 500 words, now that thing cannot go on like you are describing the same thing over and over and again. Okay, like you are giving the definition, you are giving the characteristics, so there can be different elements to it. Okay, you have to understand the basic things is that like whenever you are writing any point, you have to interpret that. Like what is it about? Like what is the point willing to cover or requires to cover? What is the good side of it and what is the bad side of it? And accordingly you have to write these things. Okay, now if I break it down for you, maybe like in these three sections, that is the characteristics, the good side and the bad side, that can like obviously become at least a minimum of 3 paragraphs, which I think is more than enough for any topic to be covered, no
Yes,
matter how many parts you are writing, right?
yes,
Okay, so you can plan things in that way. Like you can keep in mind, ki, okay, I am required to cover the point, that is the concept. Then I am required to cover what is the pros or the positive sides of it. And after that, you can cover what is the negative side of it or what thing needs to be taken care of. Okay, so in that way, you can plan the sub components or the writing part of it. Okay, now, and one more thing that you can follow, which you can call like it's a simple thing, that is like PEEL method. Okay, the acronym for it is PEEL. Okay, what is that about? First is the point, like whatever heading you are covering, you start off with the same point. Okay, after that, you have to give the evidence. That is basically examples. I think all of you can relate that in school also, whenever you are asked to write any answers, they asked you to give some examples, right?
yes,
So, in the same way, when you are starting off with the point, just make your point clear in the front or the first line of the paragraph. After that, you just give the evidence. Okay, if my point is going to be K A plus B equals to C, then my next point will be about the evidence, like who said or where I studied or got to know that from. Okay. It can include any facts like in the form of examples, in the form of statistics, or maybe in the form of any research articles. That becomes your second point. The third point is evaluation. Like whatever you have written, what point you wanted to cover, and the example that you have got, you are evaluating. Like, are both of them like similar or same in nature, or are those different? Interpret in that way. Like evaluate. That can be your own evaluation, what you feel about the point, as well as the example that you have provided. Okay. And lastly, you are just linking it back, which becomes the L of peel. Okay. You are linking it back with the point that you had started off with. Like you are having a linking, like, okay, when once you are evaluating that, what are you concluding about the point? Is A plus B actually equals to C? Or it depends on certain cases or certain situations. Okay, so this becomes the part and parcel of the each of the paragraphs that you are writing. When you are covering any point, just take that point, make it the first line. In the second line, give some examples. Okay, this has happened, actually happened, so we can tell that. After that, write your own words or interpretation. Give how you are evaluating. And evaluation is again nothing but advantages and disadvantages. Like what is the truth about it, actual truth. And after that, you are just linking it back to your topic or whatever points you have started from. If you follow these procedure for each of the points that you are covering or each paragraph that you are making, the writing can never be descriptive. Rather, it will turn to be something which is informative and pleasing to read. Are you getting my point?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, is there anyone who is not able to follow or would like to ask some questions on this part? Shomo?
No, it's okay. No, no, it's okay.
Did you understand like what I'm trying to say or how you
Yes,
can
yes,
do the writing or make it more informative or interesting?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Modhuita?
Okay, how
Yeah.
much reference I have to do, ma'am?
Okay. That part also I will come like will be discussing. So before that, I would just like to know from others like whatever I have told so far, is there anyone who's not able to follow or has any questions until this point? Okay. You are able to understand, right, Modhumita?
Yes.
Okay. Surabhi,
Yes, what?
are you able to follow what I'm trying to say?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay. Arunok?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
Okay. Okay, so I've already got the reply from Antara, so I'm not asking her once again. So now the thing which Shomo was asking about, this is about the referencing part, or maybe like some of you said, like you are not able to understand which reference you can use to write the parts that you are writing for the assignment. Okay, so in this respect, I would just like to like ask from you guys, like whenever you are writing any points, there can be three possibilities. One, you are giving a description on the topic. Two, you are trying to find out some examples. And third is that like you are trying to interpret like if something is right or not. Is there anything else that you have come across? Like any one of you from these three possibilities? Like you can write the description of a concept, you can give examples, and at the same time the third point will be like you want to justify whether it is right or wrong. Is there any other possibility that you have had to reference a line with?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Shomo, I would like to know from you, like whenever you have done the references, is there anything else that you have put reference with, like out of these three possibilities?
No.
Okay, so why I'm telling you this thing is that like you have to understand your sources. Okay. Now,
Right.
if you have to understand a concept or a definition or maybe like some sort of description about any particular topic, which is the usual source that you would be looking for? Can anyone tell me? If you want to learn a particular concept, maybe the definition of leadership, what will you be looking for? What type of resources?
Ma'am, will you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm just asking you, like, if you want to learn the definition of leadership or any concept, what will you be searching for? Like, will you be searching for a book, for a website, or any journal?
Ma'am, website.
Okay. Rest of you?
And firstly, I will search for the website, then I'll go to the PDFs.
Hmm. Okay. Shomo, what about you?
Yes, website would be better, and if anybody who is cited in his books or articles, it will be better.
Okay. So, in this respect, yeah, obviously you can understand the concept from any website. But as you know, most of the times, if you are like looking for definitions in website, you will find something which is not authentic or which it cannot be cited, right? It will be most of the times any academic kind of a like websites or any blog that where you will find the definition, right?
It's
So if you cannot cite the websites, the next best source to cite in case of any theory or any definition becomes the books, right? Okay, because that is more relevant because someone has studied that or someone has written that. Okay. So in that way, like when you are going to write a definition in the research articles also, as you are talking about, like some of you mentioned, you will be looking for research articles, but there is like very less possibility that you will be finding any definition in the articles because articles are mostly about the application of the concepts or theories. They are to show like if something proves to be true in certain circumstances or not, right?
Yes.
So in that case, what you need to do is that you have to understand if you are looking for any concept or like definition, always try to look for books which can be like cited in the work. Okay. Now coming to the next point, the next thing where we have to reference that is the examples. Can anyone tell me like where we can find the examples in the best possible manner or which is the easily accessible sources to find the examples? Aditya?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is
Ma'am,
the
journals.
okay? Other than that, Shomo?
journals written by any writer.
Okay. Okay. Has anyone any other points to say or any other answers apart from what Aditya and Shomo said?
It can be the previously published journals and research papers.
Okay. So if you tell me that you can find the examples in journals, then I will tell like it's not possible to find any examples or what you call the case study in journals because that will become much more complicated. Why I will be explaining you. Say for example, I hope all of you understand the concept of like frauds or something, right? Whenever a company becomes bankrupt or a person becomes bankrupt, right? So, if you are to find the example of a person who has become bankrupt, obviously the best source will be the newspaper articles or the news resources, right?
Yes.
Okay, like rather than finding the journals for examples, it is always better, or I would suggest like more easier to find the examples in the newspapers. Maybe it can be any recognized paper or any like bulletin sort of where you can find the information. Okay, especially about the examples. Or maybe if it is something about the achievements or particular strategies that the company has taken, it will be mostly available in the company websites or again the newspaper articles. So, if you are to give any examples or any statistics, you will always be referring for newspaper articles or any market research websites. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, that is the main problem. Like, you have to understand where you can find these sources. For the theory parts, as I told you, you can refer books. For the examples part, you can refer like websites or any news articles. Okay. And the third thing that I told you about, like you are to understand or evaluate, like whatever you have written or found so far, that is true or false. For that case, the best sources will be journal articles. For the obvious reason, as I told you in the starting itself, journal article often shows the applicable application of particular concepts in different circumstances. So that's the reason. Like you have to understand what you are trying to write, and based on that, you have to search your resources. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there any question that anyone would like to ask? Okay. Shomu, you are able to follow, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You are able to follow what I asked, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Okay. So for these three situations, use particular sources that you can refer. Okay. Now coming to the number of references. Okay. Consider this like whenever you have started working in the organization, you are asked like you have to give a reference in at least like 100 to 150 words. You have to give a reference. That is for each 100 words, at least you have to give a reference. For 1000 words, obviously it makes 10 references that you have to give. But the main issue that you face is to find those appropriate resources which can be referenced. And that is the reason I told you. Reference list includes all the resources that you can refer. Books, journals, websites. Even though like websites we don't encourage that much because like maybe most of the times it's unauthentic. But if you are going for any facts or any like government websites or newspaper articles, there is no harm in taking that reference. Okay? And when you know what you are looking for, I think that will not be much of an issue to find the references. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, is there anyone else who has any further doubt on the reference section?
No.
Okay. Okay. And as I told you, like the reference part is like what you call, like both interesting and a major topic that is a part of our writing. So there is one last thing that I would like to inform you about the references part, is that the difference between fake and authentic referencing. Okay, because that is a must that you should all be aware of. Okay, what is fake referencing and what is like authentic referencing? The sources that I told you about like few minutes back, all those things, if you are referring, then obviously that will be an authentic reference. But inauthentic or like fake referencing is something which is not associated with the topic or the country that you are working for. I began my discussion like stating the facts that you have to look for the country you are working for. Say, for example, if you are doing the pestle analysis of Singapore, will it be all right or rather like possible to take an article that does the pestle analysis for China?
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
So that is the thing you have to understand. Or maybe like if you are working for any fashion industry topic or something, you cannot take any article which is based on automobile industry, because of the simple reason that will not be relevant to what you are trying to write.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these things you have to keep in mind. First thing is you have to base the references on the country, and at the same time the topic that you are covering, you have to refer that references only. Okay, so can anyone tell me like how you guys basically search the references in Google Scholar? Is it a sentence that you write or is it the words only that you write?
And keywords.
Okay, others?
Yes, ma'am, with the words.
Yes. So that is exactly the thing that you should be doing. You have to focus only on the keywords. Like if I am writing like important skills for a leader in Google Scholar, it will not give me any results or any results which can help me do the referencing. What I have to write? Importance, leaders, skills. It might sound a bit like odd to you, or like odd to read rather, but that's the way that you can search things easily. You have to only use the words, like whether or not it makes sense. You cannot put any preposition or any like phrases in between. Just focus on the words and you will be getting your references. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
And there is one last thing that I would like to teach you about regarding referencing. So I'm hoping like all of you are working on your systems currently, right?
yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Just try opening a new tab.
Okay.
Once done, just let me know, okay? Once you open a new tab, like I'm asking
Yes, ma'am.
each one of you, just let me know. Shomo?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, done.
Modhumita?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shovik? Shovik, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Just open a new tab on your system that you are working on. Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Shurubhi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Antara?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now just search any words in that like Google page, okay? Just search anything, maybe like the concept that you're working on. Just randomly search. Have you done that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Shovik?
Yes, ma'am.
Surabhi?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Antara?
Yes, ma'am.
Arunok? Okay. So now when you are searching anything, in the top right corner, can you see there's a settings icon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Just click on that and go to all settings.
See all settings.
Yeah. See all settings.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rest of you have been able to like find that option.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Shurobhi and Antara.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Antara, you have found, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you are opening that see all settings, just scroll to the extreme bottom of that page. Can you see there is different country options?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So from that, like whenever you are doing any assignment of a particular country, just select that country and save that option. Okay. Okay. Like if you are working for Australia, select Australia and click on save settings. Has everyone done that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Antara or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shovik and Madhumita, have you done that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is the use of this one? You can just see like if you are scrolling through any pages now, in the like top part of the page where the URL is showing, that URL will be changing. Okay. Like maybe before whatever you are searching, it will show as www.google.co.in. But now the country that you have selected, that initial will be showing in that URL. Are you able to see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah. And that is a very important part of referencing. Whenever you are pasting any link, you just need to follow that country only. Okay.
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 So this is also one precaution that can help you in avoiding fake referencing. Okay. What is fake referencing? As I told you, like this is you cannot cite any references which is not belonging to that particular country or industry. Okay. Like if you are doing pestle analysis of Singapore, don't cite article which is of China. If you are doing work on fashion industry, don't take articles that focus on automobile industry because there's much difference to it. If you want to cite the concepts or theories, just use books as a reference. If you are to write or cite the examples, just take any published newspaper article or any recognized company website or government website. And if you want to interpret or evaluate ki what I have studied, is it true or is it false, then go for the journal articles. Okay. Okay. So is there like anyone who would like to ask anything? Shovik?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Madhumita?
No, ma'am.
Like, are you clear with whatever I have explained today?
Yes.
Okay. Aditya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Surabhi?
Not yet, ma'am.
Is there any doubts that you are having?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Antara?
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Okay. Arunok?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
Okay. Shomo? Okay. So, like, we will be wrapping up today's session now, and each one of you can complete the allocation. But the only expectation will be like, if you are doing any assignments from now on, try to follow these like things that I have told you and see if it like helps. We will be catching up like again in the next session. But if there is any doubts, any one of you is feeling with the assignments or any confusion that you are having that needs to be clarified, just let me know. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Sure. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
then.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Yeah.